Okay, thank you, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe you don't want to, but you're gonna have to listen to it anyway. So it's spring, and all men and women begin thinking about baseball.
And that's coming from a football player.
A football player thinks so too. Take me out to the ball game, take me out with the crowd, buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I never get back. That's one of our favorite baseball songs.
Does anybody know what Cracker Jacks
And one of my very favorite baseball players was the great Yogi Berra. Who's young enough to remember Yogi Berra? And he had a lot of great sayings, and a lot of them I'm not going to tell you, but I think his sayings are also applicable to Rotary. So one of them is, if people don't want to come out to the ballpark, how are you going to stop them? In baseball, you don't know nothing. I never blame myself when I'm not hitting. I just blame the bat, and if it keeps up, I change bats. After all, I know it isn't my fact that I'm not hitting. How can I get mad at myself? I think Little League is wonderful. It keeps the kids out of the house. Little League baseball is a very good thing because it keeps the parents off the streets. The game isn't over until it's over. And that's very true for Rotary also. So Yogi Berra was an all-star team's 50 consecutive seasons. And he also won the Most Valuable Player Award 3 times. 1951, 54, and 55. Thank you.
His work is exemplary in both neatness and attention to detail. Nicholas is not only very bright, but he is also very respectful and engaging. We know Nicholas will be extremely successful, not only in high school, which starts next year, but in his future endeavors as well. His teacher, Mrs. Eileen Weed, mentioned that it is a pleasure and honor to be his teacher. So thank you for giving us the opportunity to honor him today.
Okay. Thank you for having me here today and nominating me for Student of the Month. I'm honored to have this role, and I look forward to what's going to happen in the future.
Oh. Here. Shake your hand. There you go. Oh, he's got a great head shape. Great head shape.
Kathy,
come on out. Okay. Okay.
We have a plaque, outstanding student, okay? And then a number of the merchants in the town have contributed to the funds, which are good for all sorts of things, hamburgers and soda pops and so on and so forth. So lots of coupons in there.
Okay.
I'm missing my regular.
I know, you're doing great. He's doing great. I
Okay, we're going to start out with introductions here. So, city staff, LARPD staff, and school district staff involved in Youth and Government Day. If you would stand, give us your name and your position with your agency. So, I'll let you guys work from one side of the room to the other.
Get ready, Jacob.
All right.
Okay, I guess since I got handed the microphone, I go first.
You good.
Helen Ling, City of Livermore Interim Public Works Director. Shortly before this, Water Resources Division Manager.
Good.
Sherry Sheets, the city engineer.
Carrie.
Jason Alcala, City Attorney, City of Livermore.
Kelly Bowers, Superintendent of Schools for the Livermore School District.
Wendy Vasquez, paraeducator, Delval High.
Stacy Kennison, Livermore Area Recreation and Park District. Marketing Operations Supervisor.
Patricia Lord, Livermore Area Recreation Park District Assistant General Manager.
And Beth Wilson, LARPD Board of Directors.
And Adam Vandewater, Director of Innovation and Economic Development at the city.
All right, any school district board members here? Do we have anybody? All right. Do we have Ann here? No, okay, very good. All right, anybody from LARPD's board? There we go. All right, there's Beth. Okay, we're good to go. There we go. One more.
I'm Beth. Hello, Mary Alice Spalding, Board of Directors, LARPD.
Perfect. All right. Anybody on city council out in the room here?
Where's the mayor?
All right, very good. Good. Okay, now, students, it's going to be your turn. So what we're looking for here is 3 things. Your name, that ought to be relatively straightforward. Okay, what school you're going to and what grade you are. So that's 2 parts there. And if you're thinking about kind of next steps after high school, what that might be, as if you're going to college or going to a trade or whatever that might be. So let's have all the students who participated in Youth and Government Day stand up, and we'll do self-introductions here. Oh yeah, and also who you shadowed. And then what position?
Hi, my name is Mason Bammer. I'm 17 and I'm a junior at Livermore High School. Today I shadowed the city attorney, Mr. Alcala, and after high school I'm interested in pursuing a career in criminal or international law.
Ooh.
Very nice.
Hi, my name is Sean Godwin and I'm 16 and I'm a sophomore at Livermore High, and today I shadowed Captain Brown.
Hi, I'm Annalise. I'm a senior at Livermore High, and I shadowed Stacy and Beth, the Parks and Rec District. And I'm actually going to go to San Diego State and study aerospace engineering with plans of being a pilot in my future.
I'm Rada Shruther, and I'm a junior, and I shadow the administrative service manager, Doug, and I hope to go to a 4-year and pursue business.
Hi, my name is Jacob Peterson. I'm a senior at LHS, and I shadowed the mayor today, which was really fun. I plan to attend CSU Fullerton down south, and I'm going to plan on working with Disney to make programs for kids with special needs to help them experience.
Hello, my name is Coy Ketchin, and I as well shadowed the mayor today, and I'm 18, senior, plan on graduating, and I plan on going to Foothill Community College for 2 years, then transferring to UCLA for architectural design.
Hi everyone, my name is Keely Maloney. I'm a junior at LHS. I shadowed Helen Pope, head of public works, and I plan on attending a 4-year college.
Hi, I'm Kyle Johnson. I'm a junior at LHS, and today I shadowed Chief Young of the Livermore Police Department, and I'm still exploring to figure out what I want to do for a career.
Hi, my name is Marissa Luna. I'm a junior at Livermore High, and I shadow Tamara Lagu, librarian director of the Livermore Public Library. And I'm still deciding what career.
Hi, my name is Tyler Blue. I'm a junior at LHS. I shadowed Ms. Sherry Sheets today, and I plan on going into civil engineer and/or architecture.
First things first, President Kathy, Rotarians and guests, thank you for having all the students here today. We really appreciate it. My name is Gino Barbelinardo. I'm a junior at Livermore High. I'm 16 years old. Today I shadowed Adam, Director of Innovation and Economic Development. And after high school, I plan on pursuing a 4-year university and studying business and economics.
Hello, I'm Chris Gonzalez. I'm a senior at Granada High School, and today I shadow the fire chief and a couple other firemen. Next year, I'm planning on going to the University of Pennsylvania and studying economics at the Wharton School of Business.
Hi, my name is Eva Salazar. I'm a senior at Granada High School, and I shadowed the Information Technologies Manager today, and I will be attending New York University in the fall, majoring in Media, Culture, and Communications.
My name is Gabriel Akins. I'm a senior at Granada. I was with Captain Young today, and my plans are to go to the Air Force Academy this summer.
Hi, my name is Christine Liu. I'm a senior at Granada as well. Today I shadowed the Deputy Superintendent, Mr. Van Schag, along with the Superintendent, Ms. Hallie Bowers. And my plans for after school, I will also be attending New York University, and I will be majoring in social work.
Hi, I'm Cesar Cardoza. Today I shadowed the fire chief. I'm a junior at Vineyard High, and I plan on becoming a fireman after high school.
Thank you guys again for having us. Just thought I mentioned that. My name is Adriana Munoz. I'm a senior at Livermore High School, and next year I'll be attending Sonoma State University, undeclared, to figure everything out.
Hi, my name is Michael Kill, and I shadowed the fire department, Ruben Torres, and I want to become a firefighter after high school, and I'll be attending Las Positas.
Hi, my name's Hannah Sandal. I'm a senior at Livermore High. I'm 17, and I shadowed the fire chief, and my plans for after high school are to go to Las Positas and become a firefighter.
All right, a big round of applause for all of our folks. All righty. Okay, I've got a 45-minute presentation as I counted through my slides, and I've got 28 minutes to do it in. So everybody sort of needs to strap in. All right, am I going to smile? All right. Okay. So, everybody ready? Yeah. Here we go. All right, for those of you who have seen our presentation before, you know what our mission is. And our mission is about delivering great service, about innovating, and about being attentive and courteous to the community. Ultimately, we're a service organization as the city. We exist to meet all of those needs that we collectively don't want to do individually. We want to do as a group. We form the city to do that. Okay, there's our organizational structure. Okay, here's your test, students. Earlier in the day, you were given the answer to this question. All right, so I want any of the students who know this to sort of answer the question out loud. What two positions are hired by the mayor and city council out of that org chart? City manager, I heard, and city attorney. Good job. Full credit to the students. Yay! All right, there are only two positions which are hired by the council. We, in Livermore, use the council manager form of government. This form of government, the elected council chooses those two employees who then implement everything else. You can actually take a look at the org chart there. The city manager is the chief executive officer of the organization, is responsible for essentially implementing all of the day-to-day operations of the overall organization. City council sets budget, sets law, sets policy, and sets policy direction. So essentially, if they tell us where we're going, they give that direction to me. They have to do that in an open session with 3 or more of them agreeing on that. Once that happens, that's my direction. The city attorney basically does all of the things that a legal counsel would do for a corporation. He basically protects the city when those deal with it. He gives us legal advice as we're creating law and implementing law. His shop runs risk management and a variety of other things related to that. So essentially he's a full service attorney's office of basically almost any imaginable kind of law he ultimately has to deal with because cities are involved in all sorts of amazing stuff. Alrighty, so you can actually see the department heads there. They're listed in the boxes which are sort of orangish. They're not a real color. Those folks essentially serve at the pleasure of the city manager. That means they can be dismissed without cause, and that's to ultimately keep them responsive to the direction the city manager gives. The 2 employees who work for the city council serve at the will of the city council. They can be dismissed at any time for any reason. And then essentially everyone below the orange boxes is a civil servant. That means they need to take a test to get their job. They need to essentially show that they have proficiency in those technical items. And then once they pass a probationary period, they can only be removed for cause. And that's so that when there's an election, the new essentially elected body doesn't go through and simply put all of their friends or neighbors in those positions. You actually have to prove that you can be an engineer to get hired as an engineer with the city. You can't just have Joe, who's a nice guy, do that, because for obvious reasons, you wouldn't want that, and so on. With that, let's take a look at the money. In the county of Alameda, we have a 9.25% sales tax, and that tells you where that money goes. So in big round numbers, state gets the lion's share of that with 6 cents on the dollar. Alameda County, for essentially transportation and healthcare, gets another 1 3/4 pennies. The city of Livermore, my favorite part, gets 1 cent. So for every dollar you spend inside the boundaries of the city of Livermore, we get a penny. So remember, shop early and often on our side of the boundary. If you wander over into Dublin or Pleasanton, we get zero, nada, nothing, okay? So make that decision on our side of the boundary. And then finally, Bart just gets a half cent just to be insulting to all of us here in Livermore. Not that I'm bitter. All right, property tax. Where does that property tax, when you write that ginormous property tax bill, or if you have a Prop 13 house, that little tiny property tax bill is unfairly smaller than everyone else's because you happen to be old and have your house for a really long time. More than half of that money, essentially 2 parts of it, the big chunk over here that the state gets, and this piece, which is designated for the schools, more than half of that, 53 cents out of every dollar, ultimately finds its way to the schools in one way or the other. So, state's #1 priority, essentially as far as what the biggest chunk comes out of their overall budget out of property tax, is the schools. So that's essentially a great way of thinking about where the state's priorities are there. Unfortunately, a close second is that other job when you sort of get the housing included, which would be prisons. But essentially a big chunk of that. So where else does your property tax go there? Alameda County gets 21 cents and the city of Livermore gets 16 cents. LARPD, your local park district, gets 7 cents and Las Positas gets 3. Okay. Now the city gets funding. Well, that graphic turned out terrible. Okay. Well, imagine that you could read those. It looks great on mine right up here. But if you could read those, then you'd ultimately be able to see the things that I'm going to now have to tell you. All right, so our biggest 2 sources of income are sales tax, which is #1, and property tax, which is #2. Essentially, #3 is other taxes. Boy, that's a euphemism, isn't it? But that's essentially all sorts of things like transit occupancy tax, the tax you pay when you come and stay at a hotel here locally. Some of our utility charges and other things make its way into other taxes. Permits and fees, as you go around the circle up there, those are things for fee-for-service. If you come in and a developer wants to have an application with the city and go through that process, they pay for the cost of doing that. So those permits and fees come out of that particular thing. And then the rest of those make up essentially less than 25% of the rest of the total there. And you can sort of see what those are, including intergovernmental transfers, use of fund balances, transfers in, transfers out, use of dollars and other revenue sources. So, of those great big revenue sources, so the sales tax, property tax, and fee-for-service. Fee-for-service is a leading indicator, okay, because that essentially is, a lot of that is development related. The developers make an application for a project that will be in the ground 24 to 36 months from the moment they make that first application. So that's their best guess that there's going to be a market somewhere 36 months out into the future. So that's a leading indicator, all right? Sales tax is an immediate indicator, meaning that's the best indicator of what the economy is doing at this moment. Our overall economy in the United States is dominated by consumer spending, essentially, rather than manufacturing or other parts of the economy. So that is this thing that happens right at the moment. Property tax is a trailing indicator. It tells you what happens 18 to 24 months ago. So that's a great way of seeing where we are in the process. Looking at that, the market thinks we're getting ready for, but not quite ready for, a recession. So our local indicators are sort of lining up with what's going on. All right, that's where the money comes from. Where does it go? 2 big ones, almost half of the total is public safety, fire and police. Essentially, community development is the next big chunk of things. They're at 17%. You can see library services, public works, capital improvement projects, essentially all take a piece of that. And then administration is made up of essentially 7 different things. That's the city attorney, city council, city manager's office, finance, HR, IT, city clerk, and related financial things there. So that one actually is, while it's 11%, is a bunch of little things glued together there. So that's where your money goes. If you ever want to know what the city's priorities are, that's what their priorities are. Public safety number one. All right, what do people think about us? Every 2 years we go out to the public and ask folks, how do you think we're doing? This is the percentage of folks that answered we were doing these things, good or excellent. All right, so you have 3 different years there. So we've been doing this since 2004. So that's your baseline. That's the earliest data we have that's in the same format exactly. We do it every 2 years. So here you have in the middle, you have 2016, and essentially at the far right-hand edge, you have 2018. So our plus or minus here on the survey error is 4%. So it's within 4% of each other. That's essentially even. All right. So you can see, wow, from 2004 to 2016, big jump in appearance, quality of life, place to live. And then essentially from 16 to 18, we're relatively even on those things here. All right. That's interesting. The colors on the screen and the colors on my book are different. That's amazing. Well, that's very fascinating, but not useful at all to you. All right, so survey highlights on safety, services, and place to raise children. Percentage of folks who rated good or excellent, essentially in the 90s across the board there for safety. For those who basically think the quality of service that the city offers is good or excellent, in the 80s, and a place to raise children, essentially in the high 80s. This is fairly stunning when you compare it to those who essentially think that the federal government is doing a good or excellent job. That number now has crossed from the teens into the high single digits. So to have numbers like this at the local government level are fairly stunning. It really, it's unusual when 2/3 of the people actually agree that the sun's coming up tomorrow and from what direction. So we're very, very proud of these numbers here. All right. Every 2 years, a new council is elected. Council members are elected for 4-year terms. The mayor is elected for a 2-year term. That means every 2 years, 3 people are up for election to be the 5-person governing board of the city. All right? Every 2 years, even if the exact same people are reelected, they're not the same. Going through an election changes people. And I'll let you believe whether that's for the good or bad. But essentially, it is a life-changing event to work really hard, spend a lot of money to get paid almost nothing. Because essentially, our council members are, for all practical purposes, it's a part-time job. And calling it a job is right because it's 40 hours plus. But it doesn't come with the thing that normally a job comes with, which is money. Essentially, the small stipend works out to about 15 or 20 cents an hour. So most of these people don't do it for the money. And if they do it for the money, it means they're not good at finance. When they do get elected, one of the very first things they do is sit down and adopt their priorities. Now, you saw what the city's essentially number one thing that we spend money on, and that's public safety. So that's the thing that happens no matter what. These issues here are areas generally where they're going to do either a particular level of focus or some change. So this isn't where the bulk of the money is spent, but it is where the council wants to focus some attention. You can read the 5 areas up there, and I won't read them to you. Starting out, we're going to go through them each one at a time very briefly. So asset management is to establish a comprehensive program to ensure the community continues to receive vital services through sustainable infrastructure. So this is the one that is amazingly uninteresting to most people. However, if it goes wrong, it's really catastrophic. We own almost $3 billion with a B dollars worth of infrastructure in the city. Between all of the pipes that are underground, the streets that are at grade, everything above ground that essentially you can imagine, from street lights to traffic signals to other things. There's a lot of stuff. Hundreds of thousands of individual objects that are owned collectively by the public. If you do the quick math, you can figure out, wow, every man, woman, and child in the city of Livermore owns more than $30,000 worth of infrastructure per person. So that's a lot of stuff that we collectively own, and we have to collectively take care of it. And for any of us who've ever had a leaky roof, i.e. we waited just a little too long to replace that roof, and then had a bunch of damage in the interior of our house, we know why asset management is so important. Fixing things before they have a catastrophic failure is way cheaper and way better and way less disruptive, because essentially having somebody knock on your door and say, hey, water's off this week is not what we want to hear. For most of us, we'd be pretty upset. So it's our job to make sure that that never happens, that your traffic signals work all of the time. And so lots of work to do there. Just a spoiler alert, we're not spending enough on that. In fact, no city in the entire United States is spending enough on that, and that's because one of the downsides of a political system is that some of these things that are essential but not very interesting don't get as much resources as they might need in the long run. So we're working to change that, and the council's been very proactive on that. So I'm very excited about that. Because honestly, this is one of those things, if they do an outstanding job, the folks 10 or 20 years from now will thank them. And that's hard because they'll be out of office. So it's hard to ask a political leader to do that, but ours have done that. So we're very excited about that. Downtown is up next. Continuing to make progress to enhance the city's vibrancy by completing critical projects in downtown, ensuring the right balance of local amenities to support the quality of life. So there's lots of stuff that's coming up with that, including essentially downtown parking and circulation, Stockman's Park, downtown hotel, the 2 cultural facilities, including the Black Box Theater and the Science and Society Center. So lots going on that in the next couple of years. Emergency management and public safety, establishing a comprehensive emergency management program to ensure the safety of our community readiness and expand the use of technology to enhance public safety overall. For those of us who read the newspapers, it's sort of obvious why the council thinks this is important. Again, this is one of those ones where nobody notices until something really bad happens. Maybe that's an earthquake, maybe that's a fire, maybe that's a flood, maybe it's all in a year if you actually are, at the end and there's horsemen coming down the street. But essentially, being prepared for the biblical reference, sorry. I should have done a spoiler, get you guys awake on that one. So essentially, what are we doing on that? Staff training and exercises, public outreach and education, use of technology, emergency management planning, and then finally, an emergency management accreditation program. And you'll see a little later in the presentation, essentially our new Emergency Operations Center and Civic Center Meeting Hall. I'm super excited about that. What we found by looking at other places is when there actually is a true emergency, a large-scale thing, Santa Rosa, Napa with any of their various earthquakes that they had, Paradise, what happens is that those things aren't done in a couple of days. They go on for weeks or months, and even the Emergency Operations Center itself, where federal, state, and other officials, volunteer organizations are there, they're there for a period of days or weeks. And our old Emergency Operations Center is a room in our police department. Well, to be effective, that room has to be sealed off. Sealing off your police department from the public in an emergency is a terrible idea, because that's exactly when they need those services. So we'll be actually able to seal that whole facility off and run it 24 hours a day indefinitely. It has backup generators and other super cool things with technology and the ability even to work without electricity if that's necessary. So we're very excited about that part of the program. The next in the list of priorities is to encourage an innovation-driven economy, supporting revenue-generating businesses, high-quality jobs, entrepreneurs, and the unique experiences for residents and businesses. On their list is to update their strategic plans, supporting entrepreneurship, and essentially expand the tie between arts, culture, tourism, and entrepreneurship within the community. So very excited about this particular goal as we continue to move forward. Homelessness and affordable housing is the next on our list. To establish a homelessness strategy, engaging local partners to develop a coordinated response, expand diversity of affordable housing opportunities. We have a council subcommittee working on this. We are not the only ones. Essentially, homelessness has exploded across the country in both very well-off areas, such as the Bay Area, and essentially areas in the Central Valley that don't have some of the same problems we have with high cost of housing, but have other influences. There are lots of things causing these forces, both down at the local level and way up at the nationwide level, as far as wages and other things. Certainly substance abuse and mental health are part of that picture, but the council has put this as one of their priorities, and we continue to sort of make progress on that. All right, so those are the council's goals for this coming 2-year period of time. Now we're going to do the fun stuff. Tell you a little bit about what's going on around the community. What's next? So, out at the outlet, we have new stores. And what have we got new out there? H&M, which is a fashion retailer, Bricks Milano, Bottega Veneta, So a whole variety of new stores. If you haven't been out there lately, please go out there. Actually, it's always better before noon. So go out there, you can get a parking space. There are 600 new spaces which have been built next door, but please don't go out on a holiday weekend. It's just not nice. You're taking up spaces from other people who are coming to drop their money into our community. So don't do that. Go on a Tuesday morning at 10. It's a wonderful time. You'll have it all to yourself. You can shop the sales. But this continues to be a major anchor of our total commercial activity in the community. So we're very, very proud of that. Right across the street, the shops are now opening. The shops out there. So now open, we have Kirkland's and Ulta Beauty and Crate and Barrel Outlet and Panda Express. And coming soon is Ross and Subway and AT&T. And I just clicked one too many. There was supposed to be additional slides on this, but we'll pretend that they showed them to you. And we're off to the races there. All right, up next, let's see if something happens to make this. Oh, there we go. And I think you already saw that once before. All right. Just going to walk you through this whether I want to or not. There we go. Hotels are up next. Yay! All right, when families come to visit, there'll be plenty of new places to stay. We have approved out at the Freeway the Hyatt House at 130 rooms and the Hyatt Place at 90 rooms, and that's replacing an existing hotel out there at 1000 Airway. Okay, on October 11th of last year, our train depot got relocated and re-ribbon cut. So we're very excited about that. The depot was relocated to 2500 Railroad Avenue, and we accepted in 2016 a federal grant to help us relocate and rehabilitate the historic train depot. So it took essentially a 4/10 of a mile trip down Railroad Avenue, how appropriate, to its new home. And so it serves both the ACE, it serves as both an ACE ticket office and train station, and it serves as our LAFTA buses at that particular spot. The depot was originally constructed in 1892 to replace an earlier depot. It is one of 11 remaining depots of the same design in the western United States. And we actually have a subject matter expert right here in our very club. I won't name any names, but you can guess who it is, Alan. And if you want to really know something about it, ask him. If it seems like every street you drive on is torn up, it is the short answer. So we are taking care of your infrastructure, doing it proactively. So we've got lots of stuff going on. When we're repaving a street or redoing a pipe, it means that as a part of our overall strategy, that one has come up. We do actually try and coordinate those activities, so we don't just pave a street and then have to dig it up to do a pipe. We try and coordinate with our partners, including Cal Water, PG&E. That works some of the time, not all the time, so we're pretty hopeful on that. And in 2018, we resurfaced over 7.9 miles of streets, and we slurry sealed that little thin layer, which actually helps keep the water out, keeps the streets in good shape, over 5.8 miles. Ooh, there it is, the Civic Center Meeting Facility and Emergency Operations Center. We are so excited about that. Of course, the most exciting part of that is the Dr. John Shirley Council Chambers within that facility. Yay! The Dr. Shirley Council Chambers has 128 seats and no rodents. So we're so excited about that. It also has the ability to tie directly with audio and visual connections to essentially the rooms right behind the main council chambers to support another 80 folks right in that same building. So we'll be able to seat over almost 220 folks at meetings, and that actually will take care of north of 98% of all of our meetings. So we're very excited about that. As a super cool thing, you'll actually be able to see and hear in the facility. It's a new feature. So in the participatory government right now, when you come and they put something on the screen, if you're sitting on the improper side, like the left side of the audience, you can't see it. That'll actually be fixed. There'll be multiple screens. If you are hearing impaired, we have a variety of things to essentially help you with that, so you'll be able to hear. It's equipped with state-of-the-art audio and visual equipment, plenty of storage for backup technologies and supplies. The facility itself is large enough to accommodate regional partners during an emergency, such as the Red Cross, state and federal agencies. So we are very excited about that. Stay tuned for the final date on that. We're still tinkering. We're hopeful that it is not long. If you've been by it, you can see they're making a tremendous amount of progress on that. You know, so there's a spot at the beginning where it goes very slowly because there's so much underground. Then there's a spot in the middle when it goes really fast, and then there's a spot near the end where it slows back down as all the finish work gets done and the little detail-y stuff gets done. So we'll keep you online about that. What else is going on there? Downtown, the largest project you're going to see coming out of the ground this year is actually a private project called Legacy at the former Gross site. And that is over 200 apartment units and 14,000 square feet of retail. And we expect them to break ground in June. So we are very excited about that. And that's a really nice looking building which is going to come out. So that will complete at the same time. We will be doing the completion of the street in that area. There is one more block to the treatment of essentially First Street that will be completed with this. So essentially the enhanced sidewalks and street trees and other things will now extend one more street to M. And that actually is the final extension of our downtown core. All right, downtown parking improvements. Up next, we're going to be working on I Street Garage up here, and that will break ground essentially right about the end of the year, so we're super excited. Right in this area, we're going to actually take down the Speedy Loop and do a surface lot there. And also, up next, here's the open space that's coming up next. Our very first project out of the box will be Stockman's Park, and that will get underway. Sherry, into this year? Beginning of next? She left. Well,
she had a very important meeting.
Well, she actually, she's behind on the Civic Center side meeting hall, so she was worried I was going to call her out and ask her what day was going to be done exactly. So she went off to make sure it happened faster. So Stockman's Park will do a groundbreaking here very beginning of next year. So we are just a few months away, about 8 or so, from breaking ground on the park. We are super excited about that. All right, you've actually seen the work going on. This half of the street is done now, and we're gonna start on this half. And this half will be done in about another 60 days. So Veterans Way essentially will be a street all the way through the site. This is L Street over on that side, Livermore Avenue over on that side. So all that will be done. This parking area in here will be done as well. We'll start to work with the free range trash enclosures there where they wander through the parking lot. We're going to try and get those corralled and snugged down ultimately. Those are ultimately going to be part of a larger joint trash facility. But in the interim, we're going to maybe have the Rodeo Association give us a chance, a little bit of help there to rope them and corral them a little bit before we move forward. All right, a little bit on new homes. Auburn Grove, 108 townhome project. On First Street, so we're saying, hey, what happened on the old Cotteroli site? For those of you who are really old, that means something. If it doesn't mean anything, that's okay. It's on First Street, and the answer, they're underway. Essentially 2- and 3-story townhome projects. We're very excited about that. If you're into affordability, which we are, because it's super cool, the Chestnut Senior Project is almost done. Just a few more weeks here. 72 units. For seniors, people who are super old, 62 and above. How many people in the room would qualify? Yes, but most of you make too much money. But for those who don't, there has been an application process, so we're very excited about that. And there are 5 units specifically set aside for formerly homeless seniors, because of course as soon as you give them a home, they're not homeless anymore. Chestnut Family Square, which goes right next door, it's the next part of the project. Actually, it's this piece right here. Just closed its financing and pulled its building permit last Friday. So we are super excited about that one. That's 42 units set aside for families. The seniors, that's people who are extremely low and very low income, and up to 60% of median income. Median income for a family of 4 in the area is about $100,000, so you can do the quick math. Extremely low is 30% of that or less. You can do the math on that as well. Got a lot of math people in the range here. So Chestnut's the same level of affordability, but this is for families. So it's 42 units. We are very excited about that. Additional projects that are coming soon are Vineyard 2.0, including 25 deeply affordable units, primarily targeted at formerly homeless. Sunflower Hill out on First Street, 44 affordable rental units. Essentially on the Civic Center site as part of the downtown and Stockman's deal. We'll have 130 affordable senior units on this Civic Center site on Pacific Avenue. And of course on the downtown site, there'll be about 130 affordable workforce housing units there. So lots going on for affordable housing. Obviously, there's a huge need, so that's a good thing. Let's say you're not poor. Yay! All right, here's a project for you. At 1648 Lomitas Avenue, we have 9 single-family homes which are going to get under construction later this year, approximately 3,000 to 3,500 square feet, approximately 13,000 square foot to 21,000 square foot lots, and the vast bulk of these will be single-story homes. So this is between Lomitas and Concannon. So for all of you who've complained to the council, they don't build enough single-story homes anymore. Oh, not that I have an opinion about that, but gosh. Well, 70% of our housing stock in the city is single story, but hey, that's okay. This is brand new single story. If you happen to be of means. So wander on out, keep an eye out there on Lomitas. We're very excited about that. All right, what else have we got going on? Hey, what do other people think about us? Okay. We have been voted one of the best small cities in California, in the top 10, so that's super exciting. Safety, quality of life, education, health, economic health, all scored off the charts. We lost a few points on affordability, but still finished in the top 10, so we're super excited about that. Yay! New businesses, Fortune Emporium at 222 2nd Street, Cloud9 Pizzeria at 2062 1st Street, Rusty's Chop House at 2327 1st Street, Rebel Kitchen and Libations at 2369 1st Street, have all basically come to life in the past year here in Livermore. Very, very excited about that. Wow. Livermore Barbershop on 2nd Street, cut to the chase on 3rd Street, Gill Auto Group, Alfa Romeo and Maserati. All right, so let's have a little talk here. All right. When you've got choices about where to buy your Alfa Romeo or Maserati, okay, we want you to shop locally. Now, let's say you were thinking of a Chevy Nova instead. The difference in the amount of services we can provide you as a city is dramatic if you just upgrade a little bit to the Alfa Romeo. Buying that $100,000 vehicle versus that used $10,000 vehicle gives us 10 times the resources to provide services to all of you. So you're doing it for the kids. So again, saving is really overrated. You should be spending your senior years truly happy. Even if it's just parked in front of your house, people think better of you. So anyway, we want you to be out there and about spending your money. Coast Roast Coffee out on Independence Drive, Embodied Winery, and Omega Road Winery, both out at Vasco Road near Research. So near the corner of East and Vasco, there's a whole little cluster of wineries and breweries out there. Super cool. Go and check them out on a Saturday or Sunday. All right, one more plug for Community Service Day on May the 4th. Please sign up. Please come out. It's super fun. We're starting off early in the morning. Well, for some of us, at 8 a.m. We'll be rocking and rolling all the way through lunchtime. There's something there for everybody. A portion of the Granada High School Band will be out there playing Star Wars themed music. Yes, you got it. May the 4th be with you. All right, so please show up a little before 8:30, and we'll have a great time. Lots of fun things to do all through the year, from essentially the wine festival in the spring to the rodeo in the summer to the police department trick-or-treat in the fall to our holiday celebrations in the winter. There's always something amazing and fun going on here, and with that, we're wrapped up.
Thank you. And it's always a lot of fun to listen to you,
And
Mark.
I'm sorry I burned through question time, but I will stick around for a minute or two afterwards because we're already at 1:30.
So before you go, you know, there is a ritual.
It's true.
Yes. And I know that one of these is easier to share than others.
That's true. This one.
That-
As wine country, we have to close the loop.
Yeah.
We plant the vineyards, we approve the wineries, now we have to drink the product. It's
Very good product. And you're pulling it. All right. Oops. $207. Okay. 3417. Oh, no.